Yes. Everything's working. Actually, everything's been working for a while now.
Don't say that. As soon as you say it, it stops working.
Bless you, Riverside. Live from your CEO's 500 slice toaster. I figured with the 500 to 1 pay ratios we're seeing, shouldn't everything they own be like 500 times better than everything? So really, maybe it'd be 1,000 slice toaster.
Wait, how many?
Right?
How many? Oh yeah, because it's two.
Because it's yeah. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at September 26th Studios featuring analyst hole Matt Moscardi. Wow.
Wow.
Matt's been busy this week.
Yeah.
Wheeling and dealing.
There's no dealing. There's mostly wheeling.
Wheeling. On today's weekly wrap-up, Jimmy's kinda back. Thank God for ex-wives, and women keep apologizing for boys' mistakes.
Yeah, well, that doesn't seem unique to this week.
I guess that's true.
That just seems to be the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but these are stories we're covering.
That's true, yeah.
Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFloatAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free.
Hey, look, I want to say...
I'm looking forward. There's a data update coming. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fabulous. I do want to say, and this is not to disparage our sponsor, FreeFloat Analytics, because love them, love what they do. But if you want to sponsor this show...
Yes.
We're open to telling FreeFloat Analytics to go F themselves. That's what we're open to do. We'll give you their slot. Just let us know, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We are willing to be bribed and bought, just like
Holman,
RCI,
just like
RCI
ICE,
Hospitality,
head of the border czar.
Yes,
bribe us like a border czar. Come on.
You ready for the Friday show? You ready to get going?
Let's do story of the week.
Story of the week. Come on. Let's stay in confusion land. Look, I have to cover some of these stories. I just have to cover just because they're big stories. Let's just stay in the confusion land of Disney. So Disney brings back. I mean, I guess you could have predicted this. Disney brings back. Yeah, you gonna say something before I get into this?
We don't have to cover it in full because it's up for asshole of the week. So
okay. So I'll just say Disney brings back Jimmy Kimmel's show after backlash. Except that it's not fully back because already Nexstar and Sinclair are deciding that Jimmy's not good enough for them. How much more do you want me to cover here?
My favorite thing, I will just say
Yes.
this about it, and I pulled this quote. My favorite thing is that Nexstar joined. Sinclair came out first, and Nexstar came out second, saying we will preempt Jimmy on our channels.
What does preempt mean? It means we won't show him, or we'll push him up later in the night.
No. The preempt means we will take that one show off the air, and they'll show something else.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah.
This is Nexstar's statement, and see if you
The
catch
geniuses at Nexstar.
See if you catch any fun keywords. On Wednesday, Nexstar said it continues to evaluate the show and is speaking with Disney, quote, with a focus on ensuring the program reflects and respects the diverse interests of the communities where we serve. They cited diversity. Diversity is the reason why they're not putting on Jimmy Kimmel. Diversity. DEI.
So they don't want a white man telling them how it is?
I think that this is a DEI preemption. I think the Trump administration needs to investigate Nexstar for using DEI
Actually, you're right.
to determine what should be on television.
I was going to say, I think still, just like the American presidency, I still don't think we've had a woman host a late night show. God forbid a woman can't tell dumb.
Taylor Tomlinson.
Okay, well, I mean on a major network. Is that a major network? On what network?
On like Joe's Garage TV?
The Barbecue Joe Burger Special? No, I mean on a major network. So maybe that's what they secretly want. You're right. Maybe they're pushing for diversity. Maybe they can have a woman tell fart jokes.
I didn't say it. They said they are reflecting the diverse communities. Diverse communities is what they said. So
the other thing I like is this, and then we can cover it later and we'll move on. This headline: Disney decides it hasn't angered people enough, announces Disney Plus price hikes.
Yeah. So it's problematic when you plan to
You couldn't wait on those? You couldn't wait a month?
Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't. They just.
I mean, you couldn't wait a month.
They had planned it for a while, and
so what?
Then this happened.
Pause it.
And I do think you wait a week.
Preempt it. That's the word. Preempt it. Yeah, what are you doing? I mean, you stupid idiots. That's ridiculous.
All right, we'll come back to Disney. Disney's so talked about at this point that I'm not sure what we have to add. But.
All right. And another story I don't want to talk about. Here's the headline from the BBC. There's no way we can afford $100,000. Small firms scramble over H-1B visa fees. So during the week, President Donald Trump announced that they're going to be a $100,000 fee for all H-1B visas that come through the program, a program that used to go through a lottery system, right?
Yeah. So and this is my understanding of it.
This is a confusing story. Another confusing story.
H-1Bs are for specialized work or specialized talent. And you would put in, if you were not an American citizen, you would put in for an H-1B visa. You'd be a lottery system. You would get selected, and then you could get hired by a company that requires that specialized talent. Yeah. And Trump has decided, since we're selling everything, let's sell those.
Since we're selling everything, more importantly, since we're pushing even more power and wealth to the billionaire CEOs who control these companies, let's help them get more powerful, because that's the only way I can read this story is it's yet another way
that they can afford it. No one else can.
For the Apples and Nvidias or whatever, right? Because startups, smaller companies, they won't be able to afford these fees. Absolutely. Because who are the CEOs who are already thrilled? Reed Hastings at Netflix calling it a great solution. Sam Altman of OpenAI says we need to get the smartest people in the country, and streamlining that process and also sort of aligning financial incentives seems good to me. What is he even talking about, Sam Altman? Does he even have a college degree? He just sounds like a mushmouth.
No, I think he is ChatGPT now. Have you ever talked to ChatGPT? Everything Sam Altman says now sounds like what ChatGPT says, or vice versa. Like, I feel like they're
Nvidia
one person.
CEO Jensen Huang is happy. They're all happy, of course, and the other people are happy are CEOs from other countries, like Royal Bank of Canada's CEO Dave McKay. He said this is a win for Canada. A lot of countries are like, oh, great.
Yeah,
Germany, I know, is already. Yeah. So again, I include this story because it's yet another move to sort of make these dudes more powerful, right? I don't know. I have no other way of interpreting this.
I hadn't really thought of it. I've kind of ignored this story. In fact, this was one of the big arguments that Vivek Ramaswamy had with sort of the center MAGA people like Steve Bannon and the deep political right. Steve Bannon wanted no immigration, right?
None.
Effectively. And Vivek and Elon Musk had falling out with some of MAGA because they were H-1Bs are what you want. That's the immigration you want. You want the smart immigration.
The Satya Nadellas, the Sundar Pichais.
Yeah.
They all came on H-1Bs.
Did they not?
Elon Musk. Did he not?
Did they not? Didn't they?
Yes, they did.
I mean,
they did.
That.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little bit ironic? Are we?
Yes.
You guys,
Matt, you're attempting to say that speculate that they have some kind of game plan on the right. I think it's just a bunch of nonsense and hate and just shouting, and I don't know they know what they're doing.
It's a good story, Paul, because I actually hadn't thought. I forget that that startups use H-1B visas also, right? Like smaller companies use them.
Oh, of course,
right?
absolutely.
You don't really think about small companies.
Now they won't. Now they won't. And that means all the people who would have gone to a startup either end up at a major company like a Google or an Apple or something, or they go to another country because the major companies can avoid the H-1B visas by putting them in an office in Canada, can't they? Ironically, how about this? How about that these same tech bros who love this are also the ones most vociferously speaking out against getting a college degree in the first place.
Yay!
So where's the talent coming from? I don't really know. Anyway, okay.
All right, move on.
The third big story of the week, another one I didn't want to cover, but I felt like I had to because it's one of the basically if you're a company in our database, you're free game, and OpenAI, because I wish they were in our database, but they're not, because they're still privately
their board
held.
members are on publicly traded companies, so I feel fine about it.
Third big story of the week, and another stupid one: Tylenol maker Kenvue battles fresh storm as Donald Trump links it to autism. This is a story that everyone knows about already too. I don't know that we need to cover this in great depth. The by far the best part of this is that he couldn't pronounce the name of the drug, Donald Trump, acetaminophen. It's not really that hard. It's phonetic if you really look at it. Acetaminophen, all right? I mean, am I wrong? That's the way.
Look,
I don't really. It's just such a dopey way of. It's just the greatest, dopiest way of RFK Jr. making his first big announcement, right?
Actually, so
can't even pronounce the drug.
I was trying to figure out why Tylenol, why Kenvue. And the only reason why
you have a conspiracy theory about this?
Well, the only reason why it's not much of a conspiracy theory, but the only reason why Trump talked about Tylenol and said like 15 times during a press conference, don't take Tylenol. Just don't take Tylenol. He kept saying it over and over and over again. Tylenol is the name of Kenvue's product. Acetaminophen is the name of the drug that they're saying. So they didn't say, because he couldn't pronounce the name of the drug. That's a good
point, actually. That's a good point.
They targeted a company.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because when you travel to, say, like Europe, they don't do brand names. Shockingly, they use the drug names, because the pharmacists want to know what the hell you want to take, right? They don't want to talk about the brand names. So you're right. Why? There are other brands, including generic brands that make acetaminophen, right? I mean, I don't even buy Tylenol anymore because it's too expensive. But you're right. Why keep saying Tylenol?
So the 1 month stock performance of CVS, which makes a CVS brand of acetaminophen, was up 5.25%. The 1 month stock performance of Kenvue was down 22%, meaning Donald Trump, because he couldn't say the word, effectively targeted a company which makes other things. They don't just make Tylenol. They effectively targeted one company and said, don't take their product. Where is the investor lawsuit against the RFK and Trump administration for tanking the company stock because he couldn't pronounce the word? Forget the science of it. I'm not a scientist. I know the science. Is everything says this is the stupidest thing that's press conference. It's unhinged, whatever. Even if I leave aside the science, doesn't Kenvue have an argument here?
Absolutely. I mean, there will of course be lawsuits, right? I mean, and this is a case. There was research tying Tylenol to autism that was in a court case in 2023, and that lost. So it's already even been ruled upon. There was some reporting from the Washington Post that RFK Jr. essentially spent the weekend reading about this, and that's what changed his mind.
Weekend.
Yeah.
But then I was like, is it just, and this is where it gets conspiracy theory, is it just that Donald Trump could not pronounce acetaminophen and therefore said Tylenol over and over again, targeting one company? Or is it that company, that company,
I do that sometimes.
They spent $240,000 in the 2024 election cycle lobbying. They only lobbied via a pharmaceutical group, and they lobbied on specific bills that target them, but that's not a lot of money. The individuals at Kenvue spent $39,000 in political donations in 2024, $37,500 of which went to Democrats.
Look,
now honestly, I'm conspiracy theory, Matt.
Maybe. I honestly think this is just Trump is letting RFK Jr. do his dumb stuff, because I think it's just part of the bigger culture war. I think it just keeps people focused on everything but the economy and Epstein and all that stuff. Like, it just he just loves the stupidity of it all. I mean, isn't misinformation sort of the hallmark of this administration? I mean, doesn't more and more misinformation just get them to the place they want to get to?
Which fine, that's what it is. But Kenvue has a board, right?
Yes.
That board has a role in protecting the asset that is Kenvue for investors. That board actually has on it Larry Merlo, was the ex-CEO of CVS. It has Richard Allison, who's also the ex-Domino's CEO, who's also on the board of Starbucks. These are not like nobodies on the board of a nobody company. If you're the board of this company, don't you sue the administration for false information and falsely tanking the stock. In fact, the stock is so far down that if anybody's smart, it's probably cheaper than it's going to be for a long time, right? Like, because the only reason why Kenvue's down is because he said Tylenol all the time. That's the one he could pronounce. I don't know. I feels like there is like a investor reaction waiting to happen. I also
I'm sure there's more to the story as to why RFK Jr. fixated on this one stupid possible cause, right? Other than the fact that I will say that one thing it wonderfully does, which I shouldn't leave out, is another part of this MAGA world that we cover every week now on the show, is that it's another attack on women, right? You're blaming mothers, you're blaming women for
100%.
giving their kids. But if it wasn't that, if somehow it was blaming men, like men doing something before they impregnated their partners, like, or something like that, like they wouldn't do that. This is another very subtle war on women. It has to
not
be.
that subtle. It feels pretty aggressively overt.
You're right. You're right.
One last thing on this, because I don't want to talk about it anymore ever again.
Yes.
I do love that the big announcement was Tylenol and autism, and the reaction of the anti-vax groups, who were all waiting for the announcement that vaccines cause autism from RFK Jr.
Oh, right.
But the reporting is they are livid that the announcement was Tylenol. In fact, here's some quotes. Quote, "We didn't wait 20 years for Bobby to finally speak and then get served Tylenol as an answer." That's from the Georgia Coalition for Vaccine Choice. The Children's Health Defense, which is Kennedy's own group. He founded the group. They retweeted a post that said this was not caused by Tylenol. Like
his own group.
They're pissed at him because he didn't come out and say it was vaccines. That he came out and said it was Tylenol.
I don't know what Kenvue is going to do with this. I don't know what Kenvue shareholders are going to do with this, but they have God, this is just crazy.
I love the idea that because the president can't say a word, the company got targeted specifically.
Unbelievable. That's the third story of the week. And the fourth story of the week is kind of a good old fashioned, somewhat boring governance story. Oracle. Oracle's been in the news a lot recently, mostly because Larry Ellison keeps getting richer and richer. There was one headline suggesting he was worth as much as Bank of America, the entire company.
Oh, good.
Right?
Yeah.
And his Nepo baby pissant son is basically controlling most of American media now. There's also talks that I didn't cover the TikTok deal because it's not yet final and it keeps changing, but there's rumors that Larry Ellison will benefit from Trump basically stealing TikTok from China, getting that horrible algorithm into the hands of U.S. billionaires, because you wouldn't want China to control that. You want the U.S. billionaires to control that horrible algorithm. But so this week, Oracle names 2 co-CEOs to replace Safra Catz, who's not going anywhere. She's staying as an executive, as a vice chair on the board of Oracle. Larry Ellison is also on that board. Now you have 2 co-CEOs. One of them is only 39 years old, Clayton McGorrick. He's getting options worth $250 million.
$250 million?
80% of which are just based on time. There's no performance-based conditions. And then the other co-CEO, Michael Cecilia, who's 54 and must be pretty embarrassed, this is emasculating, is only getting $100 million golden hello. So that's a weird one too. Like, it's weird that they didn't give them the same amount. Does that mean that the future of Oracle is Clayton because he's younger and he's getting more money? I don't know. So now they basically have 4 CEOs on the board of Oracle, but really it's just one. There's a dictator,
it's just
Larry Ellison.
Can we stop?
It's his company.
About it? Especially
but what a crazy situation.
I did see headlines that like Safra Catz is out at Oracle, or Safra Catz no longer CEO of Oracle, and it's like, You missed literally the next part of the sentence, which is except that
She's a
she's
better
still
job.
there on the board.
Still an executive,
And
mind
she's
you,
still
not
an
just a
executive.
director.
She's an executive vice chair. And the vice there is because there's already an executive chair and owner in Lord Ellison, right? Like, I don't understand the news. I don't understand. And then they did 2 CEOs, and I did see a story that said, like, the success of dual CEOs at some other company, will that also apply at Oracle? Like something about how like
Netflix,
having
or
2
what are they talking about?
CEOs can work out in the right circumstances.
Where? If Reed Hastings is still there,
And I was
that's
like,
when it works out.
It was like the way it works out is when there's not 2 co-CEOs, when there's still a Lord and Savior sitting above them. That's how it works out.
Sure. And if it's a company that is ostensibly not a public company, has dual class shares, classified boards, investors have no opportunity to have a say over anything. Yeah, I guess it could work.
Yeah, it totally
because
works.
you're just maintaining your dictatorship is what you're doing. But
and
anyway, those are my 4 stories of the week.
The pull on pay is really truly fabulous. Like, why did one of them get $250 million?
That's unusual. I definitely have not seen that before. And that's quite a bit more too. It's not like $10 million more. It's quite a bit more.
I mean, is it one more attractive than the other? Is it like, what's the deal?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't. All right. I don't.
Story of the week.
I
Give me a vote. Give me a choice. Jimmy, kind of back. Yeah. What else do we have? H-1B visas now cost $100,000, benefiting the Reed Hastings of the world. Tylenol. Everyone hates Tylenol on the MAGA world now. I like how Trump told pregnant mothers to tough it out if they have pain. Tough it out, he said.
Yeah. So I'm going to choose the Tylenol as the story of the week. And the reason I'm not going to choose Disney, I think Disney.
We did that last week.
We did that last week, but also I think that the Disney thing's going to fade a little bit.
We didn't even talk about Bob Iger much, but yeah.
Tylenol's not, and Tylenol, to your point, and you reminded me that we talked about this before, is a war on women. We are just finding every way to blame women for everything. In fact, people are saying like this is exactly like it used to be in the 70s and 80s when we said autism was the woman's fault, like their lifestyle choices or whatever.
Sure,
that was the cause of autism. So I'm going to say it's more war on women than Tylenol, but Tylenol is the crux of it.
I think also there's more will come out of this. I haven't spent a lot of time digging into the possible conspiracy theories and why RFK Jr. decided what and what's going on at Kenvue, but I think you're right to start that conversation because I think there is definitely, although then again, we are potentially ascribing some kind of wisdom to these people, and I think that it's actually more likely that RFK Jr. just had his iPad out and he stumbled upon some post on Twitter that got him interested in Tylenol.
But this is like the part of it that's there's the war on women, which is the result of RFK Jr. finding a dumb Twitter feed that said that acetaminophen's a problem. But there also is like imagine in some world we found that tissues basically give you eczema if you use them too much.
Not tissues, Kleenex.
But then Donald Trump couldn't pronounce tissue, so he says Kleenex. And then the company that manufactures just Kleenex drops. But every other company that manufactures tissues, they're fine. That's fucking crazy.
This is why Kenvue obviously has quite a case. I don't know how they're going to handle all this because let's not forget that I think it was in the spring that Donald Trump was already teasing that the administration was going to have some major announcement about autism in the fall. So maybe they just slid this one in there because they in fact did not have anything to say. Because why would they? Because RFK Jr. knows nothing about medicine or science.
He had a lot to
anything.
say about Tylenol. He just had nothing to say about acetaminophen.
But maybe they just slipped this. But I'm just seeing like RFK Jr. kind of like a college student. Like he's hungover on Sunday morning, and he's sort of desperate to find something to announce, so he just stumbled upon some women-hating Tylenol tweet. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go with that story." I don't know. Anyway,
do you think they're just asking ChatGPT?
Oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe that's it. And maybe they didn't ask ChatGPT to double check because usually you should ask ChatGPT like 5 times to make sure they know what they're saying, because they will change their answer. Yeah, because if they had asked them to double check, maybe it would have become Advil, then it would have become like M&Ms, and then like soy milk.
I'm there for when it's soy milk causes autism. I'm there for that. All right.
So
that's story. Let's do good list. I feel like we're making better time.
Yours is confusing, so let me go first. Yours is maybe tongue-in-cheek, or maybe you have some greater point.
I found it hysterical.
Let me go with the old-fashioned, always a goodliest. Why does it always take the ex-wife of a horrible CEO to do anything good in this world? But the headline is Mackenzie Scott. That's, of course, the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, who I don't know what Jeff does anymore other than he chairs Amazon and he shuts down Italian cities to get married. Mackenzie Scott gives $70 million to UNCF to financially strengthen historically black colleges and universities. Now, UNCF is the nation's largest private provider of scholarships to minority students. So, here you go, $70 million check. That'll help.
I wish it was more than $70 million.
Okay, but I'm just saying, this is my way of inserting Mackenzie Scott everywhere.
Anywhere you can? Okay.
Because she just sort of is slowly giving out the money to the organizations that seem to because you know what, her target seems to be all of the organizations that are getting the most fire from this anti-DEI crusade. She seems to be routinely giving to organizations that support women and people of color and LGBTQ alliance, whatever those organizations that are getting slammed by the MAGA anti-DEI world.
All right, we'll choose yours for good least of the week, mostly because mine is...
It's not a contest, by the way.
It is. It's all
honestly, I couldn't find anything. I mean, I really couldn't find anything.
It was a tough week, which is part of the reason why I chose this. And it's just, everybody knows it. Trump claims sabotage at UN from escalator, teleprompter, and mic.
I hadn't heard about I know about the escalator stopped. I know that. Yep. The teleprompter stopped working. What's the mic? What happened with the mic?
Apparently his microphone turned off, and so he was just speaking, and the only way you could hear him is through the translator or something like that. Which is fine because everybody still managed to hear the 56-minute speech that was totally deranged and unhinged. And it was
we heard everything.
We heard everything. So it's like that. There's not really sabotage.
And I've seen Donald Trump. He needs a little bit of exercise.
I just laughed because I was like, "You're such a fucking snowflake that we're complaining about the escalator." Like, I know everything ebbs and flows, and like the conservatives and liberals basically exchange positions over long arcs. This seems like the shortest distance from liberal snowflake to conservative snowflake. The fastest transition in history, because it was breathless coverage on Fox News about how Melania almost moved forward slightly. It was a national security issue because he was standing still. It was the Secret Service didn't act fast enough.
Okay. To be fair to Trump, because I have to cover both sides, because you have to be fair to our great president. When the escalator stops, it is that first step when you notice that it stopped is a bit awkward. It's like that lurching kind of like mega step you have to take. So I understand. It's like it's an awkward moment. I get it. Yeah.
It was a national security issue.
No pun intended, but not to Trump your story, but the New Republic already has a story out saying it turns out that Trump's own team messed up the escalator and the teleprompter.
The UN had to respond to this and said that Trump's own videographer stopped the escalator. Yes. Right? Like, so the whole thing
and was in control of the teleprompter.
But like, Trump today was saying we need to prosecute whoever stopped it, and
go ahead.
We need to investigate the UN.
Go for it.
And it's like
anything that
you're
distracts
such a
from Epstein,
snowflake.
go for it.
I mean, I know man baby doesn't even apply here because this isn't even a man baby. Like this is just
he's telling women in pain. Women who are pregnant in pain to tough it out, but he's upset about a teleprompter.
He's upset.
He's just spewing nonsense anyway.
You're carrying life. And if like it's a difficult, traumatic experience. Lord help you if you get like a cold or anything. Tough it out. But my escalator stopped working. I have to walk, and we better prosecute whoever. This is nuts.
Not only that,
what a snowflake.
not only that, but we do at least 2 shows a week. We have a ton of notes that we take, ton of research, and I will agree that without those notes and research, I would be lost. But I wish that I could just get up here and spew misinformation about everything, like that. You just mentioned a company, I can just make up stuff like he does about climate change, Like I have to stick to my script. I have to stick to my research notes. It's like,
why are we the only ones doing that anymore?
Yeah, probably. All right. So the winner is the UNCF. They're getting $70 million at the winner.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the winner. All right. Let's go on to Assholiest. Oh man. Okay.
I wish why can't Larry Ellison every time Mackenzie Scott gives somebody, why can't Larry Ellison be like, well, I'm better and richer, so I'm going to give $71 million.
He did just double his net worth.
Why can't we live in that world? All right. What do you got, Assholiest?
Number 1 is the American oligarch, which...
So the story we've been covering every week.
It's not that interesting, but the TikTok thing puts in stark relief who the oligarchs are. I think part of our problem was we weren't quite sure... We had some vague sense of who the oligarchs might be, but now we know exactly who they are. Murdoch is involved in TikTok. Okay, so the Murdoch family back in. They are oligarchs.
But this is weird. There's I'm not going to be able to find it in time, but
the lawsuit.
There's a lawsuit with the Wall Street Journal that Murdoch owns about the Epstein publishing the Epstein letter. I mean, what is going on
watch
here?
how that disappears, because Epstein.
Is that just boys being boys?
No
I guess
one's talking about Epstein right now because we're talking about escalators and Tylenol, right? So
yeah, that's true.
So as soon as Epstein
I've already
comes
said
back,
that. I've already said the word Epstein 6 times in the show, though. You just haven't noticed.
Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison has vaulted himself into absolutely rock solid oligarch.
He's the new girlfriend after Elon Musk, is he not?
He is. He's the new, but he's also sort of like Elon Musk's uncle, right? He's he is a long-time backer of Musk. He was on the Tesla board for a couple of years, and which we all forget. Effectively, if you look at the Tesla board, at one point there was a Murdoch on it. There's a Murdoch on it now. Ellison was on it. Musk was obviously on it. So half of the oligarchy comes from Musk's board.
Here's 3 related Larry Ellison headlines just this week. From Wired, Larry Ellison is a shadow president in Donald Trump's America. From Newsweek, is Larry Ellison building a MAGA media empire? And from Time Magazine, and these are just mainstream news sources. This isn't exactly The Nation here. Trump insists U.S. version of TikTok won't favor MAGA over liberals as he paves way for a deal. That seems likely, right? It's not going to favor MAGA. No way.
When you say that, aren't you basically saying the opposite?
Yeah, because you're handing an algorithm that can be tweaked by the people who own the company. Again, I know I say this every week, and I sound more and more like a Luddite and a stupid dinosaur. But
put your phone
anyone
down.
who doesn't delete Instagram and TikTok at this point, I don't really trust you. I mean, what are we doing?
Just put your phone down.
No. Okay, put your phone down, but also delete delete the MAGA controlled media.
Go
apps.
to a barbecue. Use your phone to text your friends and say, meet me at the bodega.
That's true too.
And we will just hang out. We'll do live TikTok. It's called Having
I was going to
say,
at the bodega or the barbecue, you can do a silly dance.
You can do any dances.
Yeah.
And you could do crazy things like, I am going to get some baking soda and vinegar and put it in my mouth. And that's the new TikTok challenge. And then you dance while doing it. It's not that hard to do it. You don't need the likes on TikTok to do it. Just put it down.
You can even prank the cashier at a 7-Eleven without videoing it. You can just do it. You can just prank them.
Remember, whenever you sign in to one of your dopey social media accounts, which you think you can't live without, there's a company that owns that account. And it's
usually owned by Larry Ellison or Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg.
And there is a person who chooses, or in Snap's case, it's what's his name?
Evan Spiegel.
There's a person who chooses what you see and what you don't. That person is not you. There is some white male college dropout who's saying, this is what you should see. And if you think that every time you open it, you might never open it again. Because you might be like, why am I listening to what that guy says I should see?
we're not doing a good job convincing the people. All right, so where
Zuck
are
is
you
your
with the
final
American oligarch list?
obviously.
Okay.
And all of them were in the headlines this week for a bunch of reasons. But what's striking to me about this, so your options are like the American oligarchy, the solidified American oligarchy. What's striking about it is who's not in the oligarchy. Satya Nadella. Obviously too Indian to be in the oligarchy, right?
He's too. Microsoft is not aggressive enough with its trying to control people with social media.
Even
and you're right,
though-
he's an H-1B visa
Even though
dude.
Nadella is like using LinkedIn now to like train
That's
his AI,
true.
and they changed the
Yeah.
algorithm to suppress DEI conversation and stuff like
But
that.
that's more for people who used to work at MSCI and stuff. No one uses LinkedIn.
Tim Cook. He's got to be.
Yeah,
he's at every event, but he's clearly too gay to be one of the oligarchs, right? Like they don't want him on the inside.
Gay doesn't eliminate you, because Peter Thiel is gay. I think
Peter
Thiel's
Thiel's
Tim
not on
Cook's,
the oligarchy list.
That's true, actually. You're right.
The
Yeah, he's
only
too
thing
busy.
we hear about him is he's doing speaking tours talking about the Antichrist. That's what
Yeah,
he's doing right now.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Who else is not on the
Sundar
list?
Pichai not on the list.
Also, too Indian,
Too
maybe
Indian?
too H-1B visa. Yeah.
Jensen Huang not on the list.
No, that's not true. Actually, is it? I actually think Nvidia is now taking a stake in Intel, aren't they? I thought that Trump loved Jensen.
I don't know that Trump loves Jensen. I think Jensen's trying to buy his way into Trump, right? Like he's taking a stake in OpenAI, where Sam Altman.
He's just being smart.
Sam
Jensen.
Altman
Yeah,
also not really on the inner circle. He's
I don't know.
like a second circle.
I don't know if I agree with that either. Maybe this is something we should revisit. Actually, maybe we should come up with our MAGA oligarch. Because I actually think Sam Altman is very squarely on that list.
I think there's a second circle, and I think it because if you notice what
maybe you're talking
the
about
oligarchy
politics
values
too.
the
Talking
most
about politics. Yeah,
is the megaphone of media. Right, like
you're talking about so what Zuckerberg, Musk, Ellison, and Murdoch all have in common is that they use their pulpit to do the whiny MAGA snowflake.
They are the snowflakes.
Victimhood.
They are the
like,
man-flakes.
They're the biggest victims of America. They're any black lesbian who succeeds, they're the victims of. And
yeah.
Right,
It was their loss when a black lesbian succeeded.
That's true. Yeah.
And Jeff Bezos, where's he been? I don't see him in the headlines
Again,
anymore. He's too bald or too married.
He's definitely on the list, but you might be right. He might be on the list 1B, because let's not forget that Jeff Bezos started this whole horse shit by last summer. Remember, he forbade Washington Post from making an editorial about who should be the president, right? I mean, he's definitely on this list, but
Washington
a
Post
sub-list.
is not one of the ones that are inner circle, right? Like you'd think he's got a megaphone, but
Sub-list.
he's not.
Sub-list.
And look,
I want to be clear here that the people you're talking about are not, just because you're saying they're not on the number one bro list, they're not exactly like working for Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah, no,
like
no,
they're
no,
not
no. I'm not saying that.
They're not on the Bernie
but I am
bro
saying,
list.
Like, look, there's the difference between the golden share, equity stake Trump and not, right? Like this TikTok deal, this is the headline, TikTok deal won't include golden share or equity for U.S. Trump administration says, which means the Trump administration is effectively handing a Chinese asset to a bunch of American oligarchs, right? Like, and the oligarchs will pay China for it, but there's no U.S. stake. Where did we take a golden share or a stake? We took it in Nippon Steel, which is a Japanese CEO, and Intel with a Chinese CEO.
Well, how
Or
about
Singaporean
this?
CEO, I think. Right?
And how does I would love to know how the American First MAGA world, you alluded to Steve Bannon, he's very much in this camp of America First. How about, again, the TikTok deal is not complete, so we can't go too deeply into it. This just broke yesterday. In fact, The Guardian has a piece on it this morning. This headline: Abu Dhabi royal family to take stake in TikTok U.S. under Trump deal. What the actual
You guys know
how
this is
how
not. We didn't.
How are they falling for this?
We didn't go from China to U.S. ownership.
This is too much.
This
is
is
too much to me.
China to China ownership. It's dual class dictators, just
This is
different
crazy.
dual class dictators. They're all the same. They are all.
This is nuts.
The ownership structure is exactly the same. Effectively, we traded one dictator for another.
According to The Guardian's reporting that MGX, which is a fund chaired by Sheikh Tanoun bin Zayed Al Nahyan, will take a 15% stake and gain a board seat. That is hugely significant. America first,
right?
baby. America first.
So that's number
nuts
one.
to me.
American
Absolutely
oligarchs,
nuts.
because it's like they keep coming up, but I like the idea of a solid. We should just keep a list of who the oligarchs are.
We should keep
on
a
running,
list,
on a running basis. All right, number two, asshole number two.
Oh, we're only at number 2. 'cause
Disney.
You just mentioned a lot of assholes. Oh, Disney.
Okay, everyone hates you.
Oh my
right,
God!
I'm just gonna read.
What an exhausting.
I'm not going to
Bob
talk.
Iger, what are you doing?
We did a long bits on Disney last week and earlier this week.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read these headlines, and there are about 5 or 6 of them. So conservatives hate Disney. Here's the headline: MAGA furious at Disney and ABC over Jimmy Kimmel's return.
Yeah, they blew it, right? They brought
the
him
woke
back.
mob get to them. That's right. They brought him
Sure.
back. Number 2, liberals. Disney boss Bob Iger has gone from woke warrior to liberal lightning rod. Now, liberals
I don't know he was ever a woke warrior, but yeah, okay, I'll accept that headline.
The affiliates obviously hate him. Next Star joined Sinclair says it will continue not to air Jimmy Kimmel.
But of course, we knew this. They're both. Those are companies run by MAGA bros. Yeah,
Sure. Trump hates Disney. That's
sure,
obvious. Trump threatens to sue Disney-owned ABC over Jimmy Kimmel's return.
Trump can't stand Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, he can't stand him, which means that Jimmy Kimmel is doing something highly effective.
On
Trump
what grounds
is
is Trump going to sue ABC? Unclear, but he's just going to
because their chucklehead comedian it said something that Trump didn't like. I guess is that it?
Investors hate Disney. Disney investors demand internal records on Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. Say the board may have breached duties.
Here's what I wanted to ask you: is the MAGA? Speaking of MAGA snowflakes, one of our favorite MAGA snowflakes from last year, Nelson Peltz, the billionaire who complained that a movie of what was it, the Black Panther movie,
one of the largest grossing movies of all time,
had too many black people in it.
Yeah,
and
why so many black people?
Why so many black people? I'm not actually kidding.
Look it up.
Where does he fall on this? Where does he? Because
he's got to hate it.
But he was pro Bob Iger, though, was he not?
No,
or was he
anti? He was anti everything because he wanted.
Did he want people to vote out Bob Iger?
So
or did he want
Bob Iger would have stayed, but Ike
he wanted a woman out.
Ike Perlmutter was the money behind Peltz. So and that guy hates
Ike
Bob
had
Iger.
An axe to grind.
He had
with
an
Bob.
axe to grind with Iger.
But Nelson Peltz didn't target Bob. He just targeted Maria, right?
Mel Lagomasino. Yeah,
Mel Lagomasino. So. Where is Nelson Peltz on all this? Where you think? Which side of his mouth is he chuckling on?
I'm pretty sure I remember that he has an estate somewhere near Mar-a-Lago. So I'm sure there's some conversation happening down in Florida.
But this whole Bob Iger thing, I love that my new nemesis Jeffrey Sonnenfeld, who doesn't know I exist and never will. I love that just last week he was praising Bob Iger as making all the right moves all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Genius.
He's a wizard genius. Yeah.
I mean, this is just poor Bob. I mean, you should have just picked a lane. I mean, just either support Jimmy or fire Jimmy at this point, right? Like,
well, that's what
pick a lane, dude.
We hate the cowards. We hate the cowards. Which brings me to the last one. Everyone hates Disney now because you already said it. Disney decides it hasn't angered people enough, announces Disney Plus price hikes. So,
and I think I announced in a previous show, I'm so mad that I stupidly canceled Disney last month because I realized I don't watch anything on Disney, so why am I paying for this? I wish I could have canceled it with everybody else. It was fun. I wanted to be part of something fun, but I missed my opportunity.
You missed it. Yeah, you were a little too early on the canceled
Disney
train. You were too early. All right, and now number 3.
Poor Bob. No, remember Bob Iger. He was beautiful Bob. He was the chosen CEO, so I don't know where we're going with Bob.
He is the replacement to Michael Eisner, who was the one that the Disney family got booted from Disney, right?
Yeah.
There's a book about it.
The evil Jewish Michael Eisner. Yeah, go ahead.
Number 3, and this, I don't want to bias the jury here. This is the asshole of the week.
Yeah.
These assholes who keep telling us to stay, just get in the manufacturing line, shut up, do your job. I'm just
I think you might be preempting my headliners of the week.
I'm going to read 7 headlines here.
Yeah.
And you'll know what I mean. This narrative, I don't know how to frame it as an asshole, but this is the billionaire, just shut up and take it.
Work for me, you indentured servants. Yeah.
Here's
your rent. You have to pay for your you're skyrocketing rent anyway. So
I
get
mean,
to work.
you already mentioned the fact that they're telling you to stop going to college, right? Like they're just like, college is for losers.
Yeah, college is a joke.
Like college is a joke. Palantir CEO said, Alex Karp said, you'll get a better education here. Meanwhile, he hires only like Stanford grads, right? Like, everyone on his board, we did a whole thing on how everyone on his board, I think out of like the 6-7 people on his board,
elite as hell.
6 of them went to Stanford and 1 of them went to Duke. It was the most elite board. And he's like,
it's not like they went to University of Southern Maine. They went to Duke and Stanford.
Here's the headlines. Ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt warns U.S. tech workers competing with China's grueling 12-hour workdays means sacrificing work-life balance.
That was one of my headlines of the week. I'm glad you're pointing this one out because to me, this is the biggest modern hoodwink in capitalist society. Is that we're basically telling people that don't try to have a work-life balance. Don't try to be happy. You need to work harder because otherwise we, meaning the American billionaire oligarchs, will lose to China.
Yes.
Why should we care if your fortune is diminished because I don't care if you lose to China. I really don't care. I don't care if you lose to Germany. I don't care if you lose to Monaco. Like, what does this have to do with me? I don't care.
China's specific though, because they're appealing to your racism. Like if it was lose to Germany, everyone would be like, lose to Germany. Like what the hell?
Well, one day it could be Nigeria. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be even worse.
This just happened to be China.
No,
right
we already got rid of Jack Dorsey because he wanted to go to Africa for a minute. Right? Like,
I mean, this is just outrageous though. Like why do I care about your wealth and your fortune?
I do like that they named Eric Schmidt. But here's the next headline. Palantir CEO Alex Karp, they don't name him, but Palantir CEO says Gen Z can either have a social life at age 20 or be successful, but they can't do both.
Right. And does he define, this is like the meritocracy. Does he define successful?
Successful is like
wealth,
personal working
wealth?
for Alex Karp. Isn't it?
Working for Alex Karp.
Isn't that what it is?
Personal wealth. Yeah.
Because that's
success.
Like there's no other version of success in which I'm happy, healthy, and have a family that I love. Like there's no other version.
I think the Rhode Island School of Design just shut its school down because they can't. None of their students will be successful.
He basically just
put
said,
your paintbrush down, you
art
morons.
Sucks, you morons.
Yeah.
How about this? Charlie Kirk.
No.
Heaven forbid we say anything negative about Charlie Kirk anymore. But this is the headline. Charlie Kirk had a message for the over 2 million unemployed Gen Z NEET men. I don't know what NEET
What's
men
that?
is. I didn't look that up.
Not employed or something?
You don't need college to make your dreams happen.
You know, this is what his dopey wife, who is now taking over the dopey organization. It's basically like modern day Klan, I guess. She agrees. They were talking about that we got to turn our back on feminism and women should be just staying at home and not getting jobs. She has 3 degrees. She's getting her doctorate in Bible studies as we speak. So I guess it's good enough for Erica, but not good enough for
you.
women.
Yeah, NEET men is not employed, not being trained or whatever. But like the advice that Charlie Kirk had, along with Alex Karp and all of these billionaires,
how are they going to make their dreams happen?
You don't need college.
How?
You don't need college.
How are they going to do that?
And it's fine. I don't think everyone needs to go to college, but I also am not espousing a position where I'm saying that no one should go to college.
I'll disagree with you on that one.
But I think like go get a vocation. Learning is the most important thing you can do for your life. Like
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with. I'm fully support trade schools and all the vocational schools as well. But if you have the aptitude, there's a lot more going on at college than just learning how to work for a tech company.
The reason why they don't want you to go to college is because that's where thinking happens.
Like ethics.
You learn things that you might say.
Studying other cultures
sort of suck. You might
studying history, other cultures, other genders. Heaven forbid you learn about the world around you.
Here's another one. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said America could dodge a retirement crisis by encouraging people to work longer.
That one's true, right? I like that one.
Look, are you getting
work
a sense
until
of
you
the
die?
Pattern here? Are you getting
will dodge a retirement crisis? Yeah.
Sacrifice your work-life balance. You cannot have a social life. Don't need college to make your dreams happen. Work long and as hard as possible. The last two really got to me.
Yeah, wait, before you get to that, don't you think the cruise ship CEOs are angry about all this? Like, who's going to be buying all these cruises if everyone's working all the time?
Here's the last two. Don't try to be funny at work unless you want to risk your job and any chance of ever getting promoted, management professors say.
Well, that actually might be true because, we didn't exactly become CEO of MSCI, and our current company can't seem to sell to certain organizations because they are worried that we joke around too much about boards and directors and CEOs. You have to take everything super seriously.
Let me ask you something. If you showed up to work, your grueling 12-hour day of work with no social life and no work-life balance, you didn't get a college degree, and
you're not smiling.
And BlackRock CEO said you need to work until you're
94,
80, until you're dead. And these professors are saying if you joke, you'll get fired.
Around. Yeah.
What is that?
There's no more Jimmy Kimmel anymore, so I can't. What am I to joke about?
And then I realized there is a solution, and it's this last headline. McDonald's is supersizing its value menu to win back average Americans. Could it be a sign of trouble ahead? McDonald's
trouble for who? For the average Americans or for McDonald's? Yeah.
So now what we are doing is we're saying you're working so hard. We're going to make it slightly cheaper for you to get the worst possible food in the history of food.
You'll still be hungry 10 minutes later because it's not actual nutrition.
So this is what
right.
we're up against.
Can we stop the assholeiest now? Because that's clearly the winner to me.
That's
but
what
you
I
have something
said.
else?
Well, I want to mention this number 4, the last one, which is girls, stop apologizing for doing your jobs. Like,
this is the one that I teased.
I hate that this keeps happening because I saw the headline, Cracker Barrel CEO apologizes for logo store changes. Here's what she said in a statement.
Why is she apologizing?
We conducted extensive research to inform our strategic plan. So here's what happens. She's the CEO. She's incredibly smart. She's overqualified.
Yeah,
Female
what's her name?
CEOs,
we should know her name.
I can't remember. It's Vanessa something. No,
look at you.
I fail. Look it up while I'm telling you what she said.
I don't have Google. Julie Messina.
That's what it is. It worked her whole life to get here. Women are only brought in as CEOs to clean up a mess. Cracker Barrel has been in steady decline for the last 10, 15 years. Nobody goes to Cracker Barrel.
Why would you go?
She's brought in as CEO to turn it around. She was a turnaround CEO, which is another way of saying,
only there because it's failing.
Only there because it's failing. Right? Like that's another way of saying that. She starts this turnaround job, by doing extensive research. I actually fully believe that they researched. And what she goes on to say is, well, what cannot be captured in data is how much our guests see themselves and their own story in the Cracker Barrel experience,
I don't believe
which is what's led to such a strong response to these changes. Translation, we had no idea how racist you were or how fucking racist these conservative trolls are.
Okay, I'm going to push back on your first statement. I actually don't think the bulk of these people who go there are horrible racists. I think the second point is more important, that we have figured out a way to amplify the voice of the very, 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 very small minority of truly abhorrent racist trolls.
That point.
And we're conflating that into this is what Americans think, that all Americans, agree that they're angry. But nobody cares about the Cracker Barrel's new sign. They just want better food, better prices, probably better decor,
but look,
maybe clean up the friggin' bathroom. That's what people care about.
Stop apologizing. Come out and say,
I agree with that.
We made the right choice based on extensive research. That a few
they hired me for a reason.
That a few trolls targeted us and turned it into a culture war is the real tragedy. Cracker Barrel is here for its customers. The customers who come here don't care what's on the sign. They care about how they feel when they're here. Like, you need to turn this on its head.
And they hired me because I was a president for 5 years at a very successful restaurant called Taco Bell. I mean, I say it restaurant, kind of tongue in cheek, and at a very successful drug dealer company called Starbucks. And that's why they hired me, because I know what success looks like. And your company was failing.
Yes, you were
your
a
company
failure.
was failing.
You brought me in to fix it.
And if I hadn't come. And if I hadn't come and tried to fix things, your beloved company would be bankrupt anyway, like all the other similar restaurants that go bankrupt every year. We've been covering the amount of bankruptcy in the restaurant industry for years now.
The only thing that made me happy was the fact that she didn't apologize for everything in the history of the company like Vanessa Hudson at Qantas did. Do you remember we covered this 2 years ago? Where she was like at some press conference. She apologized
day one.
On day one, she was like, I would like to apologize for everything that's ever happened in the history of everything. And in fact, it served her so well that they had a data breach just recently, and she had her pay cut as a result of the data breach.
Well,
where
that's what
no
CEOs
man
do.
in the history of men have ever seen a
She's
pay
taking
cut
responsibility. Yeah.
for something like that. So women,
All right, let's
stop apologizing.
Let's move on, because this is. I'm not even going to make a joke out of this. Yeah.
Oligarchs, Disney, the stay in your lane to every average American, and girls, stop apologizing.
I'm not going to make a corny joke, even though I know you told me I'm not supposed to try to make jokes at work. But because you basically stole my. I don't know if you know this, but you stole rightfully so. You stole my headliniest of the week. I'm very glad you pointed out this horrible new trend of CEOs telling people basically to work until you die.
Just go to work
and don't go to college.
Up. Don't go to college. Just work and shut up. All right, that's
the asshole. Yes,
week.
absolutely.
All right, let's get out of here. It's headlines, winners, predictions. We can move faster now.
I'm going to go quickly here. I had a bunch of stuff here, but I'm going to focus in on one thing. First of all, I did have the Palantir headline. I did have the ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt headline, but I'm not going to focus on this. I want to focus on this funny little tidbit of a headline. Michelob Ultra overtakes Modelo Especial as best-selling beer in the U.S. I want to focus on it because the reason why this is even a headline is because what they're referring to is that Bud Light is no longer the number one beer in America.
Why is that,
for a
Damien?
long time. Because, again, speaking of racist internet trolls, they started some war against Bud Light because they handed a can of Coke to Dylan Mulvaney, right?
Yeah, a can of beer, a can of Bud Light.
A can of beer, can of Bud Light. And people, since they hate trans people, they hate gay people, they hate women, they hate people of color, they hate everything. The American media conflated this into the all Americans hate these things, and so let's stop buying Bud Light. But here's why I'm pointing this out: the company that owns Bud Light is Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch InBev. It's a Belgian company. The company that owns Michelob Ultra is the same company, Anheuser-Busch InBev. So you stupidly just are still making that company rich. You're just buying a different beer. I mean, it's an idiotic. I mean, congratulations for not following through on your ESG research to figure out that you shouldn't buy Bud Light.
How many trans people had a can in their hands? That's where they stopped.
I mean, just the whole thing is just idiotic.
I can't believe Kid Rock didn't do any ESG research.
Stupid.
I have two, one to troll you and one because I picked it. The one I picked is Black Swan author Nassim Taleb says your city's new bike lane is the reason the economy sucks.
Okay. Is this the one to troll me? Because I hate everything that has to do with either Black Swan. This isn't even the troll.
No.
Black Swan books. What's the other one I hate? Is that the other guy, the other pseudo-intellectual writes all these books about...
I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember. I don't like any of those books.
Look,
but that's not even the troll.
This isn't the troll.
So bike lanes are ruining America? Bike lanes?
He's saying when you're investing in bike lanes, you've hit this place where you're doing lifestyle investments and not growth investments and whatever. He had some argument. The argument wasn't that interesting to me. But he did have a quote in there.
The rest of the world has bike lanes, but America can't.
He called Trump. Go ahead. She said Trump's tariffs force resources into lower margin activities, likening the policy to asking a brain surgeon to do some gardening 2 days a week to avoid being ripped off by professional gardeners. I like that quote anyway. But here's the one to troll you, and this is going to troll you. The headline is Tesla, the biggest meme stock ever. Expert says too much emphasis on the magic wand of Musk.
Yeah,
that expert is Jeffrey Sonnenfeld. That's who said it.
Wait, so he's angry about he
He
Well, okay,
shared
tell me what his
thoughts on
perspective
Musk's
is
new
here.
compensation package.
So he doesn't like it or he does like
He
it?
said that he said that Tesla is a meme stock. This pay package is ridiculous, and he said,
Why is this one ridiculous?
He said, "quote There's too much emphasis on the magic wand of Musk." The same
So
guy
Bob Iger could be a
who
wizard,
said
but
Wizard
Elon Musk
Iger is
can't be a wizard?
fearless. Yes, the same guy.
Yeah. Come on, Sonnenfeld. You sound. The reason why I make fun of you so much, Sonnenfeld, is you sound like us. Like, aren't you? You're like you're the dude
professor.
from Yale.
Learn a thing.
Yeah.
Like-
Everywhere I see your name, it's always attached to Yale and being a professor. So, like, why do you sound like us? Why do you sound like a pundit, like an internet
We're not
troll?
a pundit.
Anyway?
We have more data than Jeffrey Sonnenfeld has.
I know. It's true.
That's
We do.
we
All
have
right.
a lot more. Who won the week for you?
My winner is. Let me see if I can pronounce this. It's the drug called ibuprofen.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't say it. Advil.
Advil.
Advil's owned by. It's not even owned by an American company. It's a British company. Oh, damn! America First ruined again.
Well, it's
Isn't Advil the winner here though?
Advil. Well, first of all, it's not Advil that's the winner. It's the company Helion that's the winner because we can't say ibuprofen. Yeah.
Right. I have no idea how to say that. Yeah.
My winner is Jimmy
What's your winner?
Kimmel's YouTube channel because Lord knows nobody can watch the show on television.
Yeah.
His YouTube channel blew up as a result. So
I bet. I actually still haven't watched it. I should
I
actually
watched
check that
his
out.
return monologue. It was very nice.
Was it good?
Look,
Okay.
I like Kimmel. He's
should check
fine.
it out.
I don't care.
Yeah, I like him. I don't watch him, but he's
I mean, and therein lies the paradox. I
don't
care
care
for his
either.
right to say stuff, but I also don't
Sure.
think I don't care. I don't actually seek it out. So
Yeah.
predictions.
Actually, let me go first with predictions because mine is Jimmy Kimmel and Tylenol related.
Jimmy
surprisingly
Tylenol.
enough.
That's a better name.
Here's my prediction: Jimmy Kimmel takes Tylenol on air,
Whoa.
causing all remaining ABC affiliates to replace him with family appropriate TV. And that's an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit, which covers sex-based crimes, i.e., violence against women. So that's more important. That's family-based TV, right? Let's talk about let's commercialize violence against women and
Can I just say,
sensationalize that. Yeah,
That's the greatest prediction you've ever made. My prediction is this. I saw this headline. Victoria's Secret ditches woke rebrand and vows to return to unapologetically sexy roots. After reading this headline, I think Webster's Dictionary finally changes its definition of woke from, this is what it says, politically liberal or progressive, as in matters of racial and social justice, especially in a way that is considered unreasonable or extreme. It changes it to anything including fat chicks, uggos, black people, and gays. That's all we got. That's our show. That was Hazelnut Ross. I'm your analyst, Matt Viscardi. We are Free Float. If you like this, we're actually doing a doubleheader. Go get Proxy Countdown, which is our other show. It's a little bit more serious, and we're kind of having fun with it. It's about proxy season. We'll do that today. You go check out Shareholder Primacy with Mike Levin and Ann Lipton. They covered, this week they covered a whole bunch of stuff. Next week they're doing arbitration. It's unbelievable stuff. Ann is it's like going to law school, and she's a law professor, so that makes sense. Come back and get those. Until then, goodbye.